Let's go to YouTube. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This goes here. Am I changing?
No.
Which account am I on?
It's okay, sir.
Yeah?
Yeah, for YouTube, it's.
I'm on the no subscribers. I'm thinking, would it change? Would I be able to see the name? Still, you think no?
Like we can change and see.
Yes.
But there's nothing.
Nothing there in life?
Yes.
Nothing there in life?
See the same thing.
You sure, yeah? Okay, where is this? Where is it coming?
Krishna need to start that.
But if I'm live here, how can... I'm not live here.
Let's refresh.
Refresh. Yes. Okay, yalla, I'm ready to go, guys. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
You both might have a different viewpoint. Our job is going to be to bring you both in a way together to make the best investment decision.
You know, sometimes the time is right when the time is right. He is somebody I met in 2017. He always wanted to start with an investment in the Dubai market. And 2024 is what it was for him. He, along with another friend of his, wanted to really take a look at the Dubai market again and really start investing. So what we ended up doing is have them sign up on the Dubai Wealth Builder program. And it's a little bit of a challenge trying to get two friends who might think alike, can also think differently sometimes. Him and both of his friends were then escorted along into a strategy session. We then went on to help them virtually select properties, qualify based on the criteria that we established. One of them then visited Dubai. We went physically to see the properties, the different showrooms, and get a feel of the areas and the locations so that we could then make better decisions. The process took about maybe a month to 2 months, but the good thing is they win by getting the best property. Dubai wins by getting a great customer, great client. We win because we get to service them, and the real estate market in Dubai wins overall.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. 8th March, which also incidentally coincides with the 8th of Ramadan. So everybody who's fasting, today is probably your eighth fast, right? Everybody here who's on YouTube, welcome. This live is, take questions from you guys, talk to you guys, have a conversation with you guys, listen to you guys. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? I just want to make sure if you guys can hear me. So on YouTube and on Instagram, Passion Fusion 786. Assalamu alaikum, sir. I am from India. Okay. Thank you, Abi. Thanks for letting me know that you guys can hear me. Everybody on Shadab Alam. Okay, Shadab. Farhad HB. Bushan. Abi Sri. Dasari Venkat Rao. Welcome, guys. Welcome on YouTube. Welcome on Instagram. Welcome on TikTok. Welcome on Facebook as well. Everybody who's watching, if you're fasting, bless you. If you're not fasting, still bless you. Today is the 8th of March, which incidentally is also the 8th Ramadan, 8th fast. Because if you guys started Ramadan this year, interestingly started exactly on the same Gregorian date. Okay, so it started on the same Gregorian date. Hello everybody on YouTube who's watching. I'd love to take any questions you guys might have specifically related to Dubai real estate. You can ask me questions if you're an agent, you're an investor, whatever question you might have. And I've got some questions for you guys too as well. I want to ask you guys, most of the people here, you're working, you're an investor, you're an agent. I'd love to know if there's one skill that you could develop, what's that one skill that you would love to have? This absolute one skill, if you could wake up tomorrow and be like, boom, like you had this instant skill, could be a language, could be skydiving, could be bungee jumping, could be zip lining, could be to fly an airplane. I'm just realizing I'd like a lot of these skills for myself, yeah? Harun Uzum or Uzum Harun, Passion Fusion, Farhad, Bushan, Abisri, Kichu, Solomon, Shop. Hey guys, welcome. Thank you very much for stopping by. Everybody who's here on YouTube as well, thank you very much. So I'd love to know from you guys, what's that one skill that if you could wake up tomorrow, what's that one skill that you would want? What's that one skill that you would want? You know, I've got a lot in my mind, but is there one skill you'd love to have tomorrow, instant? Shine Start says, hello, bro. Hello, bro. How are you? How are you? Bro, back to you too. What's that one skill?
I like to teleport and telepathy.
Teleport. Okay, teleport. Okay, I didn't ask you, what's this one invention that you want in life to start tomorrow? Teleport. Selling flats. Okay, Shine Star 134. Why did you miss out 1, 2, 3, 4? Shine Star says, is that the skill you'd like? To be able to selling flats? Okay. Easy skill, bro. Actually, you know what? This is a very interesting conversation. Because, okay, let me disclose one skill that I really would like. Okay, there's many. But I would love to be able to speak fluent Arabic. Okay, this is my team. Okay, they like to play jokes, pranks. They're not very serious about stuff sometimes. Okay, it's a good thing we're not on the BBC going live with the news. Here's to bring you the latest news. The Prime Minister has announced, and then like this. Okay,
Even the BBC dismissed.
that's fine. It's okay. Good jokes are always welcome. Hey guys, everybody here, welcome. Mohammed Yassin, Sahil. I'm gonna come to you. I want to say something to you. So, what's that one skill you want? A telepath. You want to be a telepath. Sahil says, I want to sell flats. You know what I'm thinking?
Serious note,
Yes.
I like to convince people.
Persuade people. Man, you know what? Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. You know what I'm realizing? Okay, so the one skill that I wanted to have was about language. So, you know, I can speak Arabic, right? Everybody knows I can speak Arabic. Assalamu alaikum, kif halak, shukbarak. I can speak about 10% Arabic and understand about 20% Arabic. I would love to be able to speak, understand, read, write Arabic fluent. As fluent as I am in English, right? Because from X number of reasons. And I just realized when I'm looking at Shine Star, your one skill that you'd love to wake up tomorrow with, and I'm listening to you, you would love to actually be able to persuade. From my perspective, I'm like, okay, that's very easy. So then I reflect on my skill that I want to learn a language, and I'm thinking that's very easy. All I have to do is start. So, Shine, I'm going to address Shine first, and then I'm going to come to you as well, okay? You know, it's so easy. Why do I say it's easy? One skill you need is to sell flats, and you're saying there's two ethical hacking, Abhisri. I don't know why you want that skill, ethical hacking, from Abhijit. So, too much competition. Okay, I've got answers for all you guys. Do you want solutions?
Yes.
Do you guys want solutions? Okay, I'm going to give you some solutions, okay? Listen, Shine Star, I want you, if you're in real estate, I want you to go back to the basics, okay? I'm going to give you something really absolutely basic for you to understand the business that you're in, okay? So if you're in real estate, I want you to think differently now. You should not think that you're in the real estate business. Rather, you should think that you are in the lead generation business. Okay? Lead generation business. What does that mean? Basically means you're in the business of generating clients. Okay, Sahil? Pay attention, okay? Shine Star, pay attention. I'm going to try to explain something to you. So every day, your role, your job should be that I want to speak to 10 people and collect telephone numbers and mobile numbers and email addresses of 10 people. Get out of the business of being in real estate. Go into the business of generating contacts. Every day, 10 people. How do you meet them? In the elevator, at the grocery store. Have always your business card with you and tuck, right? Now, what's going to happen is you're going to go from, if you go 10 every day and work 30 days, right? Like, hey, listen, breaks are for, I don't want to say losers, but who needs a break, right? You don't need a break, okay? If you do 10 days of absolute every single day collecting numbers, how many people do you know in 30 days? 100. Are you sure? 10 into 30? 300, right? Sahil, Shine Star, you will know 30 people in 30 days. 300 people in 30 days. How many people in 12 months? 3,600. Okay? I think that's the math. It checks out. 3,600. No. Relax. I've done the math. Calculator. We must now 300 into 12. 3,600. 3,750. I think she's thinking about commissions right now. She just wants a little bit more, yeah? So, hey, Mount C, welcome. Everybody welcome, okay? So you'll have 3,600 contacts. Do you know, if you have 3,600 contacts, out of 3,600, I'm going to tell you, let's even assume that only 30% of those 3,600 had the capability of buying an apartment in Dubai ever. So 3,600 into 0.30, it's 1,080 people. Do you think that you could sell an apartment to 1,080 people? Easy peasy. Yep, and something else. Okay, easy peasy. There's some rhyme around that. It will be very easy. See, the thing here. Okay, now there's another thing. Okay, look, I've kind of flipped it on you, Sahil. I've kind of flipped it. Why? What do I mean? What do I mean by kind of flipped it? The skill you really wanted was to be able to sell apartments, right? That's the skill he says he wants. The skill I'm trying to give to you is to lead generate every day, to do 10 people every day. Do you understand? Right? Let's say, so for instance, let's talk about me, okay? Let's say I want to get super fit and strong, okay? I already know what I need to do. Let's say I want to run the Ironman triathlon or whatever it is. We already know, right? Eat right. Go to the health, go to the gym, blah, 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 right? Okay. Is that the skill I need? No, I need the skill of discipline to go. That's what I need. So Sahil, pay attention to this. The skill you need is to collect and talk to 10 people every day. Then you being able to sell apartments becomes very easy because you're just dealing with 3,600 people. You're not dealing with 10 people. The problem is most agents are dealing with 10 people. Right? So they're dealing with only 10 people and they're trying to sell a property to 10 people. And how it happens is you've got to deal with 10 people, then 10, then 10, then 10. And you'll find that by the time you get to 100 people, you have sold a property. Hey, you can shorten all of this by reaching out to more people instantly. Does that make sense? So the skill you really need is to have the discipline to actually go and meet 10 people. Turn off Netflix. Okay? Telepathy. Did you say telepathy? What was the other one? Persuasion, right? Okay. How do you persuade people? I'm just going to give you an example, okay? I want to ask you a question. Do people act out of self-interest? With self-interest, right? So if you could build somebody's interest into something, would it be easy to make them or them influence? Would it be easy to influence them to do something? Very easy, right? That's there you go. Tip number 1 today. And where do you get these all of these? You get them in books. You get them on courses. So it's an interesting thing, and I'm glad I asked this, and it actually applies to me as well. If I want to learn Arabic, speak fluent Arabic, all I have to do is take classes. or actually start learning. Same thing applies to you. If you want to persuade people, influence people or their decision making, there are ways of communicating better. Then there's ways of communicating better, but at the same time, I'm not going to use the word manipulation, but let's say positively influencing people. Right? If you started going down that route, nothing's going to stop you. You'll see in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years time, you'd be a good influencer. You'd be a very good person who can persuade people. Yes or no? Right? Sahil did a little short. So discipline, meet 10 people every day. Yeah, that's true. Generate leads every day. And by the way, when I was, I'm talking about 10 plus years ago, when I was thinking that I want to, I want to say those magic words that convinces people and instantly they buy. And I was looking for the silver bullet. I was looking at a lot of courses. Like one was Jordan Belfort. Yes, he's got the language to help you close. The words that help you do it right. But all those words and those language is nothing if you can't practice it on a lot of people. So if you can't practice it on a lot of people, you won't get good with it. You could be born with good language. You could be a born salesperson. But if you want to get good at communication, you've got to communicate with a lot of people. Does that make sense? So Malcolm X, those who don't know him, orator, started to learn how to speak. Do you know where he learned how to speak? In prison. Yeah. He became a good orator. Such an amazing speaker. But he became a good orator in prison because he was giving speeches and talking and preaching and all of that. Sahil, does that make sense? So the thing you first do is you start going. Somebody's asking me questions about Islam. Okay, this is a real estate channel. So if you think about it, all you've got to do is go figure out. And today you've also got, you've got this amazing thing called ChatGPT. So all you've got to do is figure out what's the thing that you need to do, get discipline around it, okay? So Shine Star says, sir, 6 months, not even a single deal. I failed miserably, but I never connected with 10 people every day. We'll try this one. Okay, try this one. You'll see that this works. You will see that this works, okay? It's not very complicated, but 6 months, not a single deal, don't worry, okay? I know how that can feel, but don't worry, okay? Don't worry at all. So let's take up some questions that have been asked by people over YouTube. Let me answer some of these questions that people have asked. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hey, everybody here, welcome. Gabrielle, Sahil, Francois, Rise Realtor, Abisri Kichu, Tarannum Khatib. Got a question from TikTok. All right, hey guys, hello on TikTok. Can I send a rose to people?
No,
They should send me a rose. Okay, guys, you send me a rose. Okay. Customer retention. I see many of you joining. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Okay.
the skill set.
Customer retention. So somebody. Hi, Fahd. Hey, Francois. Thank you for that. Hello to everybody. Everybody say hi to Francois. So somebody on TikTok says customer retention. Okay. That's also not that difficult. Okay. Hi on TikTok. What's their name? Real estate. Okay. Her name is Gabrielle also over there. Okay. I got it. Yeah. So there's a good question, right? Customer retention. How do you retain a customer? Let me ask you a question. Anybody here shops from Amazon? Okay. Have you ever returned anything on Amazon that didn't fit your needs? Never. You probably are the only person who never returned anything on Amazon, because everything Anu orders, it comes absolutely in perfect shape and she's never had to return anything. Check the ratings, yeah, but sometimes still it doesn't fit. Anyways, if you ever had to return on Amazon, you could just return, no questions asked. It's a refund pretty much immediately, right? Same thing with restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, if you get serviced food with good, great food every time, you're going to be going back. So same thing with any other business. If you take care of your customers, they're going to keep coming back to you. Okay. I hope so. Ask that person if that's the answer they're looking for, customer retention. And obviously you got to give more value than the other person. Like, remember this, guys, like, if you're thinking like, how do I retain a customer because somebody else is giving more value, then you've got to up the game, right? You've got to also give more value. This is a good question. Okay, question 2. Shine Star asks. Shine Star 134 asks, how can I leverage AI in generating leads since legacy things don't work for me? AI. How can you leverage AI to generate more leads? Look, here's the thing. I do feel that a lot of people love to integrate AI and marketing funnels and Instagram pages and social media. And look, for a lot of people, something works, some things don't work. Okay. Here's what I've learned in the last 3-4 years. Okay. I used to be a big proponent that all agents should be creating content on social media. But you know what I've realized? That for some people, creating content is just not their cup of tea. So why should we force people to create content? Maybe it's just not their cup of tea. Maybe they like to sit in a cafe, talk to people, and that's how they do business. Okay, that's it. So if creating content is not your cup of tea, you're not going to be able to do it. Now, Shine Star, when you say, look, how can I start with AI and AI generating? You've got to understand that AI is great. It's amazing. It's still fresh, right? To fully utilize the power and harness the power of AI, you're going to have to go deep, understand on how it works, operates, and then obviously bring value to the other person. Ginu, how are you? So we got Ginu in the house, right? MashaAllah. So you're gonna have to learn AI. So here, if you're struggling to sell real estate for 6 months, now you're gonna have to go and learn a complete other skill, such as AI and getting inbound leads coming in from AI. Now, I'm not saying don't do that. Maybe you're really good at it. So maybe you can do it. That's fine. Be my guest. My recommendation was to go to the absolute basics, to the most simplest thing, right? Which is, essentially speaking, go out there and meet people, right? People still, like, we're still at a time where people actually go out there, right? People aren't living their lives at home, and they still go to conventions, they still go to conferences. Go out there, meet people, meet 10 people. Now, if you say, oh, well, I could set up this AI engine who could meet people for me in the virtual world, the social world, like LinkedIn, so on and so forth. Okay, try it. If you can touch people in a way that gives them value, and then you can in return get their mobile number and email address without hounding them, without without cold calling them, without cold approaches, right? People do send cold emails as well. Like, forget about even AI. If you go back, you might not know this, people send cold emails. The only thing is they send cold emails to thousands of people, and then a few reply. So if you wanted to do that, go ahead, do it. But the point is, you've got to be focusing on lead generation. Like, your focus should be, okay, let me get to know a lot of people. Let me generate a lot of clients. And then once I've got all these clients in my kitty, I can then start pitching them real estate, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Gino, I've got a question for you. A lot of other people have answered. If you're still here and you're listening, the question was, if there is one skill you could wake up with tomorrow, one new skill that you don't currently have, but if you could wake up with one new skill tomorrow, what skill would it be? Okay. So if you could wake up with one skill tomorrow, what skill would it be? Okay. If you could wake up with one skill, I got some very interesting answers. Somebody said, I want to sell more flats. and apartments. Somebody said that I want to teleport. Somebody said that, I'd like to do telepathy. Other people said ethical hacking. Okay, ethical hacking. I know people who can guide you, teach you, and I could introduce people who want to do ethical hacking. Ginu, if you're listening, what's that one skill you would love to wake up to tomorrow? I'd love to know. Thank you, Fahd, sir, for your valuable advice. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome, Sahil. I hope that you will be able to apply it. Francois, what's that one skill that you would love to wake up with? YouTube's a little quiet. TikTok said customer retention. They wanted customer retention. Okay, that makes sense as well. Anybody here who'd like to give me in the comment section a little bit of an insight into that one skill they would love to wake up with? I know the one skill. Ooh, wow. Infinite knowledge. Ooh. Wow. Francois, infinite knowledge. Are you referring to all the knowledge that we have on Earth right now that is declared, discovered, and known, such as knowledge about math, knowledge about the pyramids, science, physics, what we already know? Or are you talking about secrets of the universe, Francois? Are you talking about learning that stuff that's unknown to us right now? Okay, reading and understanding a book in 1/10 of its time. That is a good skill set. That is a good skill set, Ginu. I'd like that as well. There's a famous minister in India, and I think he decided to read one book per day when he was young. I'm forgetting his name, but he's a very popular person. Ginu, this is for you. He decided to read one book per day, so 365 books, and he ended up reading 365 books. And I think, Ginu, something you could do is you could take a speed reading course. There's speed reading courses that you can take. You can literally read things in seconds. I've tried it. Like, literally, this is what you do. I've tried speed reading, by the way. Gino, I'm going to demonstrate speed reading. Okay, this is one of our books, the blue book. Okay, we got the red book and the blue book. Do you know how you do speed reading? Francois, I'm still waiting for you. So you read the cover, read the back, read the introduction. Okay, read the table of contents. Okay, and then this is how speed readers read. Okay, they can read this fast. Done. Yeah, and then you can actually test them as well. I don't know how they do that. Speed reading used to be a course. I think they used to say read 3,000 words per minute. Used to be a course in university. There's tricks to this, Ginu. But Ginu, since you've touched upon this, I'd like to do this as well, because I've got a pile of books that I'd like to read as well. Francois, the one skill that you'd love to wake up with tomorrow is to have access, to have infinite knowledge. That's interesting. But you already do have, well, technically speaking, I could say that you have access to infinite knowledge. Perhaps it's not all in your brain, but it is at your fingertips, right? Not only did we already have Google, and not only did we already have the ability to search online and so on and so forth, but we've also got the ability now to actually do a lot of this stuff with ChatGPT, right? Like, you're literally, everything is available instantly. And not just that, it's available instantly, and it comes at you in very, very good organized fashion, right? So I don't know if you guys have tried this. Gino, I don't know if you've tried this. The ChatGPT has amazing options of deep research. You can actually write patents. And ChatGPT can help you write patents, by the way, guys. So those of you who don't know this and have not been using ChatGPT in that way, you can actually do searches on patents, huh? Jinu, Francois, Said, Rise Realtor, Abi, Kichu, Yasmin, Ahmed, DKD. I've got a question over here on Nijinu Prizo. So you've done over 30 viewings, but no closings. What do I need to do to close? Can I ask you a question? Where are you doing these viewings? Are you in the Dubai market? The gentleman on YouTube, are you in the Dubai market? Are you NG Ni Prizo? Research is a lot easier. Okay, so Engini Prizo, tell me a little bit more about your problem, because doing 30 viewings, you've got another. The issue is a little bit something different. So I need to know a little bit extra about what you're doing and how you're doing viewings, because honestly speaking, 30 viewings, that doesn't make sense for you not to be able to close. Okay, so Science Park in Dubai. Yeah, it's a good place, isn't it? It was Dubai Sounds was used to be known. Science Park is amazing. So this is I'm answering Double S Real Estate site. I think Science Park is very good. It's a good place. It's in a very good corridor. We already know that the corridor is really good because it's got that whatchamacallit corridor, like the Umsakim Road, right? Corridor from Sheikh Zayed Road, where Mall of the Emirates is, all the way to Motor City and Arabian Ranches, and then it goes on to Nishama, Town Square, Modon, so on and so forth. And that corridor, Science Park comes way before, a little bit before Arjan, and it's very good, well developed. It's not well developed, but it's got good road network over there, right? So I think it's going to develop very well. So nothing particular. I think it's good. Okay. I think Science Park comes under also Dubai Holding, which is traditionally under the government does very good master planning of the developments. Okay. Ginu says you can upload documents and ask ChatGPT to break it down. Yes, you can do a lot more with that as well. Ginu, I think, I'm not sure if you're using AI or ChatGPT to its full maximum potential, but these days it's going a little bit cray in a very good way. Like ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, for those who are using Grok, things are getting really interesting. I think for the next 5 years, 4 years, we're going to be in a very good situation. Okay, Genie Prizo, you did over 30 viewings, but no closing. What do I need to do to close? Again, you've got to, so in the Dubai market, I don't understand. If you're doing 30 viewings, either you're selling the wrong product. Okay, so for example, let's say you're selling an apartment that is really run down at a price that people are not willing to pay for it to be run down. Like, I would say that, you could potentially even sell a rundown apartment. That's not a big deal. Okay, that's not the end of the world. You can, because let's say an apartment or a property or a villa is completely run down. Okay, so the grass is growing, it's not been taken care of, things are really bad. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Why? I'll tell you why. Because even if it's really super run down, you can still make it work. How do you make it work? It's very simple. You end up just, essentially speaking, dropping the price. If you drop the price enough, there's going to be enough people interested to say, hey, I'll just buy this property and I'll just fix it up myself. What's the big deal? What's the worst that's going to happen, right? So even if the price is not, even if the property's run down, you can still sell it. 30 viewings, the problem's something else. I've got to really know a little bit more about what you're doing, which property you're showing, where are you showing this, which developers, is it off plan? What are you doing when you're talking to these people? Like, sorry, man, 30 viewings to not do a single deal is very challenging, because with 30 viewings, it's almost like when you do 30 viewings, with every viewing, you are learning yourself. Like, you don't even need anybody to teach you how to manage it. It's kind of like, I don't know, if it's kind of like if you went into a coconut orchard, let's call it an orchard, to find coconuts. So let's say you got the first coconut and you open it and you found that it was too green, not ripe enough, and the water inside was not sweet, it was too salty. You'd say, okay, let's go and get another coconut. And then you see, oh, they're all green or they're not ripe. Then you're like, okay, well, this is not ripe, this is not ripe, this is not ripe. And then you wait a little bit, like 2 weeks later, and they're more ripe. And then you go and get more coconuts and you're like, okay, this one makes sense, it's riper. Then you now know, like, okay, it's getting better. Like, you already know, like, you just by trial and error, you're going to be learning to get better and better and better. So you don't even need anybody to give you any advice. I can tell you, don't feel bad though, I can tell you, FYI, there's this one developer that I really wanted to sell a property off of many, many years ago. I ended up doing almost 15, I think maybe 10 to 15 viewings there. No sale. I stopped concentrating on it. Fast forward many years later, did tons of business with that developer. So even the 30 or odd things that you're doing and you're getting people to come, don't worry, it will pay you back. Like, don't feel stressed, okay? Give me a little bit more about what's going on and I can give you some advice further, okay? Guys, let's answer some questions from people who've asked on YouTube and Instagram. Do property developer give us a chance to give a list of snagging before final payment? What is the right time to take our professional team to the villa? So no, so you can't, generally speaking, in the Dubai market, your snagging happens after you've made the final payment to the developer. That's kind of like the way the developers do it in general in Dubai. Some developers might do it a little bit differently. Some developers might do it a little bit differently, but generally speaking, that's how it's done in the Dubai market. You got to pay your dues completely. Then you go into the snagging portion. But the way you go into the snagging portion is you got to know that for the first year, your property is under something called the defects liability period, which gives you a lot of time to address, give them feedback, give them a report, and then they will fix it, okay? So don't worry too much, okay? Najat Gems, welcome. That's very interesting. Okay. So that was GK Sonal. I was answering GK Sonal. Okay. Up in Smoke 24. Don't you think the market is oversaturated now? I don't think that the market's oversaturated. Please pay attention to the way that the rents are currently structured. Some places rents are going up by 30 to 50%, and really it's market demand. What does this mean? That there is that demand. There's people who are coming into the country. There's more places needed for people to live, so that rents can come down and they can become a little bit more stable, okay? So saturated from what perspective? I don't know. I can't agree with that. I don't know what you're talking about or from what perspective, okay? Anonymous WTK4U asks, guys, again, if you guys have any questions, please shoot them across on Instagram and on YouTube as well. I'm happy and I'm here and I will answer, okay? Anything related to real estate or in general as well. If it's related, sort of related, I'm happy to answer, okay? I'm here. I'm happy to answer. So somebody says, what about working from home as a side hustle? Any lead? This profession is new to me. Okay. Simple answer, okay, guys. For most of the time, side hustles are challenging to make work. Do you know what I mean? If you want to succeed in something, you've got to make it your main hustle. Main hustle, not hassle. Do you understand what I mean? Like, so if you said, I want to be a professional basketball player, well, you got to go and practice every day, right? Or do you want to just play as a hobby? If you want to play as a hobby, which means once a week, once every 2 weeks, then you don't need to practice. You can just pick up the ball, go with your friends to a park or a basketball court in your house and play. But let me ask people a question. Like, when they're joining real estate and they're thinking, okay, I'll just do a little bit on the side. What are people thinking? Just make a little bit money on the side? Can you do that? It's challenging, right? It's kind of like me saying I want to become it's like this, picking up that skill. I want to speak Arabic. I've got to give it time. I've got to do it. I want to become a chef. I've got to practice cooking. If I don't, then it ain't gonna work. So why do you want to do this, right? If it's money that you'd like to make more of, then you will get money, generally speaking, equivalent to the level of skill that you have. And how do you develop that skill is by giving time, committing to it, right? So if you're not willing to commit and you want to keep it a side hustle, excuse me, for those who don't know, sometimes it happens when you're fasting. Okay. All right. Ayuni Sunyu 14 says, is it possible for you to give a breakdown on closing techniques in real estate? Yes, I can. Please assist on the best way to prepare for client meeting or viewing. Okay. So let's go. First question, how to prepare for a client meeting or viewing. Okay. Okay, so everybody on Instagram, Assalamu alaikum, Ahfaz, Maimun, Ahmad Jalil, how are you, brother? Let's talk about going into a client viewing or a meeting, okay? Very simple. If you're going on a viewing, you should be fully prepared about the area, about the road, about where to park, where's the apartment or the villa. Is it clean? How many bedrooms? You should have the pictures beforehand. Now, I'm not going. Ramadan Kareem, Allah bless you. Ramadan Mubarak to you too, brother Ahmad. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak to you too. So I'm not going to say that every time you go for a viewing, you will always be able to visit the property in advance. But if you can, that'll be amazing. But if it's especially your listing, you should know everything about it. Okay? If it's not your listing, it's with another agent, you got to speak to the other agent and say, look, how do I come into the community? What name do I drop? Do I say I'm visiting such and such property? You know, Dubai is very secure. Most of the communities have staff sitting at the entrance and they will gate check you, right? So you should be fully prepared, knowing as much as possible about the property, the price, so on and so forth, okay? This is for the viewing. And I'm going to tell you something, Ayuni. It's as simple as, and I'll tell you this. About 11 years ago, I was doing some viewings in one particular building. We had about 40 apartments to sell there. And I still remember my first transaction happened with a client who I knew everything about that particular property and that particular building. When I knew everything, what does that mean? When I say I knew everything, what does that mean? I knew exactly where the apartments were. We had 40, remember? I mentioned we had about 40 apartments in that place. I knew exactly where the apartments were. I knew exactly where to go. And I knew exactly where to turn right from the elevator. And that's when the client followed me with confidence. When I had that confidence, I could relay that my confidence and my knowledge to them, and they ended up buying. Does that make sense? Before that, let's say I've got keys in my hand, like 5 or 6 keys. There's 5 or 6 apartments I'm going to see. And then out of the elevator, I step out, and this building was very unique. Okay, so this building was, you step out of the elevator. There's like 10 apartments on the left, 10 apartments on the right, and you know some of these elevators sometimes tell you for this apartment you've got to go here, and for this apartment, this building didn't have that. For whatever reason, didn't have. So guess what? If you don't know where the apartment is, you start walking. You step out of the elevator, you start walking. And the numbers are going like, let's say your apartment number is 1012 or 412. And now you're seeing, as you started walking, it's like 401, 402, 403. And you're seeing, okay, there's not enough apartments for 412 to happen here. I'm sure it's going to end at 48. And then on the other side was 409, whatever it was. Now you're like, as you step out of the elevator, you started walking left. Guess what the client's doing? Following you. And you're like, oh, stop. And the client comes and bumps into you from behind as you stop. And like, oh, sorry, we got to go the other way. And then the client starts following you to go to the other side, right? And you look really professional at this stage, okay? Or if you're doing the viewing and you're like, the client's like, okay, let's look at the amenities. And you're like, okay, let me see where the pool and the gym is. Maybe it's on the roof, or maybe it's on the first floor. Let's try to figure it out as we go. So ain't going to inspire a lot of confidence, okay? That's one. For a meeting with a client, okay, I'm still trying to address you a uni. For a meeting, you've got to, so before you set up a meeting with a client, you've got to already have somewhat qualified them on the phone. So you ask them, right? Let's imagine if it's a tenant, if it's a landlord, if it's somebody who's selling a property, or if the tenant's renting, landlord's renting their property, the seller is selling their property, and the buyer is looking to buy their property, right? What have you done? The moment you knew what they wanted, how they wanted, and got that basic information, you do the research on that thing, okay? So if the landlord wants to rent his 11-bedroom Emirates Hills mansion, you've got to already do the research on how much rent an 11-bedroom mansion in Emirates Hills going to command before you go and meet them. Yeah, that's how you prepare for a meeting. It's very simple. Okay, I think in everyday life we would actually follow this, and most of us would actually be able to manage this in a very, very easy, good way. Okay, very, very easy, good way. I don't think it's very complicated, right? So hope that makes sense, okay? So you learn about them. Now, when you do go into the meeting, a uni, you've got to ask a bunch of questions to them that make sense with respect to what they're looking to do, okay? We've got, I do consultations. They're buyer and seller consultations. I think we have them somewhere on our website. We probably sell them for some money. But that's what you should be doing. You should be asking people the relevant questions that make sense to them with respect to what it makes, or what they would like to do. So intelligent questions, and this is how you are now prepared for the meeting. Is it possible for you to give a breakdown on closing techniques in real estate? Listen, a lot of times I'm gonna say something to you, okay? I'm from the school of thought of solution selling. Solution selling, okay? What's solution selling? Solution selling is basically you're giving people solutions for problems that they have, okay? When somebody buys an apartment, so this is an interesting thing. This is an interesting thing. Do people buy a Rolex to tell the time? Do people buy a Rolex to tell the time? You can tell the time. Everybody almost has a phone today. So do people buy a Rolex to tell the time? I saw this video the other day. Well, today. And it was a good video. I liked it. Do people buy a Rolex to tell the time? No. Or is it this one? I think I couldn't download it, but People don't buy a Rolex to tell the time. People don't buy Rolls Royces to just get from A to B. They're looking for something else. The guy who buys a Rolex is looking for something else. He's looking for comfort. No, he's looking for, perhaps it's status. Perhaps he loves the feeling of a high-end watch with a lot of workmanship and value in it. Perhaps he's looking for luxury, whatever he's looking for, okay? Same thing applies to a guy who buys a Rolls Royce or a woman who buys a Rolls Royce, right? They're looking for status, luxury. So when you're thinking about, okay, closing techniques in real estate, you've got to identify why on earth is this person actually even interested in having a conversation with you about real estate? What are they looking to achieve? Are they looking to invest their money that they have extra saved up? Are they looking to make money by investing and doubling or tripling their wealth? Are they looking to get passive income? Are they looking for shelter? Are they looking for a home? Right? So whatever their need is their problem. Right? So all you're doing really, realistically, is actually solving their problem. So the guy who needs a roof over their head, either he wants to rent a property or buy a property so that he or his family can live in there, so wants to solve that problem. So how do you solve that problem? You close him? You close him on something? You find him the house that he can imagine himself living and enjoying his family life with. That's the solution. Yes, that is the solution. And I understand what you're saying is, okay, let's say I found him the house that's a perfect fit for him. You've got to then eliminate all the doubts that he might have. Okay, that's intelligent conversations. You're not closing them, okay? This is not like you say the magic word, the silver bullet, and the guy goes, yes, now I got it. I'm going to make this. Maybe sometimes people are smart. There are some really good salespeople who can convince people to make a decision super fast. That's fine. But maybe all you need to do is clear his doubts, speak to the person logically, and they'll make a decision. Yeah. Present the facts. Yeah. Tell them that this is the best that they're going to get. And let them buy. Let them make that buying decision. Allow them. But obviously, now I understand if you're saying, oh, how can I close them, right? At this stage, sometimes it might happen. Sometimes it might happen that you need to convince them. Then it becomes your duty to convince them. Make sure you help them make the right decision. How do you convince them? Get fear out of the way. Okay, that's something good. I try to identify what's stopping them. Okay, if it's fear, if it's lack of the ability to make a decision, then you go back to understanding how do they make decisions when they buy things. Like, ask them. You can ask them like, hey, how did you decide when you wanted to get married to this person? For example. And they're like, well, I got to know them. I got to know their family. I got to know their mother and father. And then, after I knew their mother, their father, their brother, and I'd spend some time talking to them, then I just, decided that it was time. So let's say they said, I got to know them. So what are they telling you? They got comfortable. They got comfortable with them. Right? So what do you need to do now? You got to get them comfortable with the house. Right? If they need to see the seller, let them go and see the seller with you. If they're buying something off plan, let them go and speak to the developer's vice president. Maybe it's one of those developers that have been around for 20 plus years. So all you need to do is tell them and show them, right? Hey, Bella Shikova, welcome. Send us a question if you have one. I'd love to answer any questions that you might have. Got a question on TikTok. Who else is on TikTok? Top viewers. Okay, TikTok. With a capital of 300,000, how can I make stable, active, passive income in real estate so fast? Okay, well, stable income is you just end up buying something for that you can afford for 300,000 dirhams. I can tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. Who knows that meme? Who's seen that? let me tell you something. Okay. With 300,000 dirhams, I would even recommend. Listen, you could even eye and target Sharjah and Ajman. If Dubai prices are a little bit out of reach, perhaps now, maybe, I'm just saying. You could target Sharjah and Ajman. This is for the gentleman on TikTok. Play with Adamu. Okay, you could target Sharjah and Ajman. And the reason I'm suggesting that, and the reason I'm saying you could do that, is very simple. Is because there's always tenants there, by the way. Yeah, so you would get very good, very stable passive income there. Okay, very easy. Just buy something ready, rent it out. Buy something ready, rent it out. That's it. What is this? Roses on TikTok. If somebody sends them to me, do I get a prize?
Later we can
Get money? All right. Do I get? Did somebody send me $100,000 coins?
no one roses.
Somebody send me one rose. Somebody send me a rose. Really? Is that real money? Wow, that's good. Does she have an account? Okay. Tell her to send us more. All right, bless you guys. All right, Bella, are you a real estate agent? What's the one skill you would love to wake up with tomorrow? I asked this question. I got very interesting answers today. Bless you all. How about hotel rooms business market? Hotel rooms business market is good. The only thing is, in my opinion, this is for Saeed, I feel that if you're not running the hotel room yourself and then somebody else is doing it for you, then, how do you know how many rooms, what time, how long it's been rented for, so on and so forth. So that, for me, is a little bit of a question mark. I got to answer this question. This is Afifa Naz Real Estate Limited. I'm working as an agent in Toronto with some company. If I move to Dubai, what I have to do to get RERA license or my Canadian license can be used? Please advise. Okay, so you're obviously, well, not obviously because you're asking this question, your Canadian license can't be used. Okay, you are going to have to take a license in Dubai, and the way you do that is you get attached to a company that is authorized by RERA, which is the Real Estate Regulatory Agency, to operate in Dubai. Okay, so you can't do that if you can't get your Real Estate Regulatory Agency license unless you're actually registered in Dubai. So you're gonna have to be here, live here, get a residency visa, okay, with a V. You're gonna have to pass the exam, and once you pass the exam, then you go on to get a regulated license, and then you can practice. So your Canadian license doesn't automatically allow you to operate or practice real estate in Dubai. Shaban Qazi, hey, welcome. So the question I was asking is, what's that one skill you would love to wake up with? Okay, so Ayuni, breakdown on closing techniques. Okay, the final word on breakdown on closing techniques is essentially speaking, when you're about to go through a property selection phase with your clients, okay, when you feel that they're asking you the hot buying questions, that's where you go in to start asking them. ZZO asks, is the exam difficult? No, the exam's not difficult. There's, I think, a 4-day course that you've got to attend, and I believe anybody who attends the 4-day course with some general knowledge about Dubai real estate should be able to pass. Okay, should be able to pass. So ZZO asks, is the exam difficult? No, it's I personally think it's not difficult. Anybody with some general information about Dubai real estate and who attends the 4-day course diligently, like you go and attend, would pass. Okay, I don't think you'll have any kind of trouble. Okay. Let's take a few other questions from Okay, ZZO says thanks. You're welcome. Anytime. Ask me more questions if you have. Love to hear more questions from you guys. So some investors ask, how will the upcoming Dubai metro line affect property values in the areas it will serve? Okay, so generally speaking, if there is a metro line anywhere it's kind of like the old rule applies. They generally do well. Okay, so the properties do well because they can easily rent out. People like living there. Families like living there, especially if they don't want to drive around Dubai right now. There might be, if they don't like to drive and traffic is an issue for them, then, they like to live in a place which is easily accessible by the metro. I've even seen kids go to school on the metro, okay? So that's pretty normal now in Dubai. I think maybe it's not that normal, but it does happen, okay? So an investor says, I see many buildings with high vacancy on upper floors. Is there something I should know? What do you mean by high vacancy on upper floors? I'm going to tell you something in Dubai, okay? If you drive around in Dubai, like we noticed this, or we saw this, or we heard about this in the 2008 crisis, okay? A lot of times people were like, oh, Dubai is there was like bad news about Dubai, just like it was the whole world was reeling from this crisis. So what we ended up finding was a lot of people said, oh, look, there's going to be all of these empty apartments in Dubai Marina, right? And you could actually drive around Dubai Marina and you would find a lot of empty apartments, okay? How could we tell they were empty? Because the lights were switched off, right? And then we said, Hussein, welcome. I am Malik Khizr, welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so a lot of people said, okay, you know what's going to happen? Like these apartments will stay empty. Nobody's going to stay here. Okay, khair. And I'll tell you honestly what happened. So 2008, the crisis really takes hold and it starts, right? So 2008, let's say post-October, we can see that there's like a crisis in the world, and then Dubai was nothing different. And the crisis touched Dubai as well. And a lot of people actually ended up leaving Dubai, right? So a lot of people left Dubai, so on and so forth, okay? And we saw, I think for the first 8 or 9 months of 2009, a lot of apartments, the lights were switched off. So we said, okay, wow, man, this means like people, wa alaikum salam, wa alaikum salam. So we thought, okay, wow, this means that, it's true, like people aren't going to live here. Right? Assalamu alaikum, brother. Shaz Realtor says, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Thank you for the salam, brother. So we thought, okay, so there's a lot of people who are not going to live here. What's going to happen? Kya hoga? Okay. By 2009, maximum 2010, these apartments were rented. These apartments were rented out. Anybody know what happened? Anybody know what happened? Fiseha Mekonnen, I see your question. I'm coming to your question, sister or brother. Basically, when the crisis happened, rents really dipped down. So I still remember in the Greens, a studio or a one bedroom rented about 70,000 dirhams. Like it was like crazy rental prices, okay? And immediately prices came down. Immediately prices came down, right? So what ended up happening is all these people who ended up taking, let's say, possession of their apartments, they couldn't adjust to the lower prices instantly. Like they mentally couldn't. They felt, okay, no, the prices will pick up. Some of them thought, I don't want to put a tenant in there. I want to leave my apartment as brand new. And some people left it as brand new. Like you'd be surprised. Up until 2014, I met people who took possession of their apartments in 2009, 10. They left their apartments vacant, empty, brand new up until 14, 15. They just didn't want to rent it to anybody. They had money, so that's fine. So what we found was by 2009, 2010, landlords started coming around. They either sold the properties or they either rented them at low rent or whatever the market rent was. And we started seeing that the lights were coming up. So those who think or believe that, oh, well, we've got less people, or why are the apartments empty? These are apartments left empty by choice. Some of these apartments are owned by international people who don't live in Dubai but like to keep properties here because when they come here, they don't want to go to a hotel and each time a different hotel. They want the feeling of a home. They want to leave their clothes here. They want to just unpack, come from the airport, go straight to their, apartment or villa and so on and so forth. They want to enjoy life like that. That's fine. Shaz, Realtor, welcome. Bella, Ben, Animal Guru, Hussein, Saeed, Francois, Fiseha asks, okay, Ben and the home of pause. Agreed. I appreciate your agreement. Ben, are you in real estate? Because looks like you're in the business of pets. Ben and the home of pause. Or maybe it's just your love for pets. So Fiseha says, how much should the price difference be between freehold and leasehold for two bedrooms in DIP area? That's a good question. I think it's almost 20-30%. Okay. This is me saying this off the top of my head. Don't take this to the bank. Do some research. Okay. So how do you do some research? You look at leasehold apartments in Dubai Investments Park, DIP. And I don't believe there's any freehold apartments, but look at leasehold apartments on Property Finder or one of the online networks, portals, and just look at the prices that are being advertised and look at the prices that they are being sold at. And that will give you an absolute very good idea of how to price your property. Okay. I think it's 20-30% difference, by the way. Okay. But don't take this to the bank. Do some research, original research. So Francois says, to get an idea, that's a statement, to get an idea, or is that a question? Let me understand this a little bit better. To get an idea on the future rental in Dubai Island, would you compare, Fiseha, you're welcome. Would you compare with actual prices in Dubai Marina? No, not right now. Dubai Marina is a very different place and it's a very different area. And Dubai Islands is again a different area, right? So I wouldn't compare it to that. I think I would compare it more as an average. I would say, okay, this is over there in Dubai Marina. Let's see how Dubai Islands. You know what I would compare Dubai Islands to is to communities that are closer by to that place. Okay, Port de la Mer is there, I believe. Maritime City is closer by. Okay. So check out Maritime City. People are already living there as well, by the way. So I would actually compare with them. Okay. Let's take a last few questions, guys. Anybody on Instagram and YouTube, if you guys got questions, love to hear from you guys. Thank you very much for being here on the live. Business King, Sahil, Francois, Saeed, Shaz, Lalit Bhaktani, Bella Shikova. Love to take any questions you guys might have. So somebody asks, an investor question. How are property? Thank you to you too, Bella, for being here. Any questions, please shoot them across. Love to help. Love to answer anything any way I can. So somebody asks, how are property values affected during Ramadan and summer months? Is there a best time to buy? It's just, guys, don't try to time the market. Like, the best thing to do is to buy a property that's value. Try to avoid timing the market for Ramadan. No harm if Ramadan's coming around and you're waiting, and that's fine, or the summer's coming around, but it's anybody's guess. Like, you know, sometimes people say, hey, let me wait for the summer to rent this villa for 300,000 dirhams. And then all of a sudden what ends up happening is they're competing with everybody else who's looking to move to Dubai before the September start of school year, right? So now what they're doing is, oh my God, they were like, let's say it was, MS Ansari. How are you, brother? I think MWC stands for Mobile World Conference, isn't it? That happens in Spain. So you're attending that. Bless you. Enjoy your time there, brother. MS Ansari on YouTube. So sometimes people are like, okay, we're just going to wait until the summer. And then all of a sudden summer arrives, but you don't know how many people are moving to Dubai in September. And because the kids are about to go to school in September, a lot of people are looking to move to Dubai and find a place to live in July, so that for September kids are settled in, or June. So here you were waiting for the summer, thinking, oh, rents might go down, And all of a sudden, now you're competing with all these other people who are coming into the country. And generally, when people come fresh into the country, they have more money, or they have that ability to spend more money because they really want that first home to settle in and move the kids here so that they can so that they can come here, set up the house, move the kids here, get them their uniforms, then they go away for vacation to Monaco, right? And then they come back. And then they come back. Do you know what I mean? And then they come back right before the school start. But now you're competing with these guys. You don't want to do that. A uni says, between Tuck and Tuck, which is better for lead generation? Okay, I can't give you an answer. Try both. You're trying to compare property portals. Both have their advantages. I would recommend trying both. Don't try one, okay? And it depends, guys. It's like if you say to me between TikTok and Facebook, which one's better to advertise with, try both. See which one's working for you. Do you know people have sold millions and millions of dirhams worth of properties off TikTok? So who am I to tell you that TikTok doesn't work, right? I'm not the social media advertising expert. What is the market forecast for 2026 and how should agents prepare for 2026? You know how agents should prepare for 2026? I'll give you guys an example, okay? Welcome Salim, Sahil, Francois, Lalit. I'll give you an example, okay? You should be preparing for 2026 as you would be preparing for 2025. Essentially speaking, just double down on doing the basics correctly. What's the basics? What is the basics? What are the basics? The basics are very, very simple. Your job is to do lead generation. Your job is to get market knowledge. Your job is to reach out to customers. Your job is to maintain a database. Your job is to touch your customer 8 times over the next 8 weeks. If you do this, forget if it's 2025, 2026, you're going to have a lot of business just coming through your way. So that is what you want to be doing at uni. I get your point, and there is a book here somewhere. There's a book here called Shift. Yeah, it's a white book. See if you can get it. It's on the other room. I'm going to show you guys a book that you can buy and you can read. Okay? Basically, the book says, when the market shifts, so should you. So when the market shifts, so should you. Okay, it's very, very easy, very, very simple to understand that. So somebody asks a question here. So a uni, this is what you should be doing. Be in there, getting your skill set up. Don't worry about the market. I do understand that people want to worry about the market, but then here's the basic thing. I'll say, if you were meeting 10 people before, and in a tough market, you just go in there and you meet more people. Okay, you just end up meeting more people. Okay. That's what your job is, okay? That's what you do, okay? Welcome everybody who's here on this live. Sahil? No, it's okay. There's a book called Shift. When the market shifts, so should you. M. Sansari asks a question, okay? What's this question? Let me take this question from M. Sansari. Today I have a question for you. The new rent evaluation in Dubai Rest app has been adjusted to the lower side. Being a property owner, I am paying my municipality charges based on 100,000. Shouldn't it also be adjusted as per RERA, Dubai Rest, the rent should be right? That's a good question. I think, look, with everything and with other things, like with other things in Dubai, just give it some time, okay? Like, give it some time. And I'll give you guys real examples, okay? You know how Dubai introduced employment insurance for employees? Did you know this? So if somebody gets fired or lose their job, not fired, I think fired you don't get employment insurance, but if somebody loses their job, they get paid, I think 80% of their salary for 6 months. If you worked for 6 months, right? So Dubai said to everybody, guys, everybody has to register in this program before the end of so and so. Now, people missed the deadline. So what Dubai did was they adjusted it and they said, okay, if you've missed the deadline, we're giving you a new deadline. Okay. Same thing happened with, I think, VAT. The same thing happened with when they announced the amnesty as well. So MS Ansari, what you've got to do is you've got to just be patient and then it will come around. Like, you know, you can raise this, go to the portal, go to the government portals and raise it for them, right? So then they will say, okay, we've got to look at this because people are bringing it to us. Like, you got to remember, Dubai is very, very good. It's very customer centric oriented, okay? So basically, if you're getting paid, so you're getting charged, MS Ansari, you're getting charged 1250 dirhams per year. 1250 divide by 12. You're getting charged 100 dirhams per month extra. If it's an immediate, if it's something that's bothering you instantly, immediately right now, then obviously just raise it with them now. If it's something you can tolerate, then do it when you have some time, right? Okay, just do it when you have some time. All right, guys, this live's been going on for a while. I can't see any more questions coming across now. So what I'd love to do is I would love to bid you adieu. Any questions on TikTok? Okay, so we have a follow-up question from a big Which is better, buy and rent out or get multiple leases and rent out with 300,000? Of course, look, I'll tell you something. If you have the ability to rent and then sublease, and you have the time to do that and know how to do it, then of course you can make some more money. Okay, but then you've got to do it. Like, you got to learn from the people who are already doing it. And then you've got to then do it yourself as well. It's a lot of work, by the way. But the return can be a little bit higher. On the other side is you just buy once and just rent it out one time. And that's it. Less work, less reward. Rent and rent out. Lease and sublease. Make sure you do it legally. Make sure you get permission to do it. Obviously, you can make a lot more money out of that. But, you know, think about how you would like to do it. Okay, but if you don't have the time to do it, because you said active, passive, this is not really passive. It's very active to do that. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being on this live. I've enjoyed myself. I like the question and I like the answers that came through on that. Francois, you're a warrior. You're still here. Bless you, bless you, bless you. I bid you adieu. Thank you very much. MS Ansari says it's not bothering, but saving 100 dirhams per month can fill my tank up one time. Okay, yeah, I don't want to disagree with you. It is what it is. Like, but also if you raised it to the government, you would be helping them also address it. So just go to their portal and submit your comment there, right? So that'll help. Okay. All right. Ikhwa wa ikhwani. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You both might have a different viewpoint. Our job is going to be to bring you both in a way together to make the best investment decision.
You know, sometimes the time is right when the time is right. He is somebody I met in 2017. He always wanted to start with an investment in the Dubai market. And 2024 is what it was for him. He, along with another friend of his, wanted to really take a look at the Dubai market again and really start investing. So what we ended up doing is have them sign up on the Dubai Wealth Builder program. And it's a little bit of a challenge trying to get two friends who might think alike can also think differently sometimes. Him and both of his friends were then escorted along into a strategy session. We then went on to help them virtually select properties, qualify based on the criteria that we established. One of them then visited Dubai. We went physically to see the properties, the different showrooms, and get a feel of the areas and the locations so that we could then make better decisions. The process took about maybe a month to 2 months, but the good thing is they win by getting the best property. Dubai wins by getting a great customer, great client. We win because we get to service them, and the real estate market in Dubai wins overall.
First two videos, it's for reels. All these three videos for YouTube. So total 5 videos.
Which one is a podcast?
No, 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 no. No podcast. Because we have to record these things. Okay, sir, thank you.
Thank you very much. Guys, you want me to record something else as well, right?
Yes, webinar videos.
When do we do that? Where?
After the prayer.
After the prayers.
Where?
One is here. And
Like this?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually with the mic.
Okay.
Then other two, we can choose one here.